Anyway, instead of doing a written newsletter every quarter, I decided I'm going to do a video newsletter. I figure everyone's overburdened enough with things to read, and this will make it easier to kind of fill you in on what we're doing here at Western Mining Preservation. So 2023 was the year that we incorporated. I think our 501c3 paperwork came back in the middle of June. So in the last 6 months of the year, we did some pretty amazing things. We not only got our 501c3, we got the incorporation set up, we got a board built, we had 2 board meetings. We also visited over 30 mines, hiked over 1,300 miles as we explored these places, published 19 videos, received site stewardship training through the state of Nevada so that we can go down there and start working on some of those sites. We'll talk about that later. There's some complications with that. We developed a few different research design proposals for different things that we want to do in conjunction with some academic institutions. We've made connections with many people both in the academic world and in the geologic and mining world. And we've had an absolute blast exploring mostly Idaho and Nevada, actually. So this next year, our plans are going to be to continue what we started. We want to visit at least another 30 mine sites, although our plans for this year are a little bit more intense than last year. So we also are going to start a new series called Mine Trails, where I basically go out and walk these historic trails that the miners and prospectors took to get to different bonanza areas around the West. That's a tentative title, so don't hold me to that. We're going to start in Nevada, actually, following the California Trail. And I won't tell you what we're going to do, but it's going to be pretty unique. And it's something that I've never seen anyone do before. It's going to be a long few weeks for me, but it's going to be really interesting because it's based in historical actions that someone actually took. So I'll let you know more about that as we get closer. We're going to expect to do that sometime in May when I'm done with schooling. Speaking of which, this last year I finally finished up my first degree, and I've started rolling right into my subsequent degrees. So it was great to have that done. I don't know how I was able to do Western Mining Preservation and get my degree at the same time, but somehow it happened. I also moved from Boston back to Idaho during that time as well. So it's been quite a year. We hired our first employee as well. We're paying them a massive $1 a year salary to help with grants and budgets and different things that happen behind the scene that I'm really terrible at and really don't care about. So that'll help keep us accountable, make sure that we get all of our end of the year financial recordings done, make sure the IRS is happy with us. So moving forward into 2024, I want to ask anyone if they know people that are mining now, especially small scale miners. I would love to be able to talk to them, interview them if they're willing, show us their workings, and be able to give people who are watching these videos a better understanding of the difficulties not only that the frontier miners face, but that miners in general face. When we consider that everything we own either came from a mine or is processed using things that came from a mine, mining has and does continue to have an incredible impact on our lives. So moving forward, I really want to tell those stories and be able to highlight what it is that the miners around the West are still doing. Going forward also, we're going to do less of a archaeological focus and more of a stewardship and documentation focus. So we're not really going to be concerned with doing any digs or focusing on one area. Instead, I want to create a database of these special sites. So that way, not only do we know what they look like, because as time passes, they will decay and fall apart, but also as more and more people are ransacking and looting these sites, it'll be great to have a video and photographic record of what they look like, not only to help law enforcement prosecute those people that come in there and take artifacts or break down buildings, which I reported a couple years ago some people doing on a mine, but also so that we can have a living record of the site through time. And there are various government agencies that are doing this, but most of this information isn't available to the public. There is a line of thinking that people shouldn't have access to this information because it's going to open it up for them to loot or destroy those sites. And I can see the validity in that. However, I think that if we teach people about these sites, the history with them, and the stories of the people that made them, maybe we can impart some reverence into those that live near them or explore them regularly and help create a community of self-policing individuals who take some ownership in the historical sites in their area. Right now, the West is really focused on new, build, expand, expand, expand. And a lot of our history is getting lost in that fervor for development. But I know there are people that really do care about the history of the West. And hopefully, as we lose some of these sites to development, it will make people more interested and involved in preserving them going forward. So instead of doing the archaeology, as I said, we really just want to document. Other than that, I just want to say thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for supporting me. I know that it's something that people think is odd, but I really do get a lot of support when it comes to what we're doing here at Western Mining Preservation. And I'm hoping that I can continue this on, not just as part of my studies and as part of my growing up as an individual, but also into the world and have it become something more than just a project and a part-time hobby for me. So please stay in touch. If you have any suggestions of sites or people to talk to, please let me know. And I will continue to update things as the year goes along.